making the best possible decisions, provided, of course, that we're compliant with our overarching responsible lending obligations.
Microphone 4.
Chairman, I would like to introduce Mr. Kaz Kazim, who is a shareholder.
Good morning. I wish they'd take the spotlight off. It's blinding and it's quite unnecessary. Anyway, look, I've been a customer far longer than I've been a shareholder. And I won't cover the grounds that's already been covered about the stench coming from the bank over the years. Not a very good feel for me because I've been a customer and a shareholder. And the bank's been throwing money to try and restore trust. And it appears that it's at the front and centre of all your expressed concerns. I have 2 simple questions. Mr. Morris raised these issues, serious governance issues. He was ridiculed at one time, I think it was in Adelaide when I first attended the AGM, that he was a disgruntled employee. Now, that director is no longer on the board, which is terrific news, but has Mr. Morris been issued an official apology for raising those issues? And the second question is, has any compensation been paid? Thank you.
So, Mr. Kazim, in terms of what you're referring to, in terms of effectively our whistleblower process, we have greatly strengthened that process in the last 18 months and made it far easier for people to access the process, and then we've strengthened the protocols at the board for our understanding exactly what complaints are being made through that process. So the board is much better informed and much more alert and much more questioning of what comes through the whistleblower process. I have personally met with Mr. Morris and expressed an apology for the way he was treated and listened to his concerns in terms of what he knew of the bank.
What about the second part of the question, which is essentially there are a lot of people who've had issues and they've been compensated in one way or another. Has Mr. Morris been compensated as a victim, as a genuine victim and a genuine employee who raised concerns of governance issues? So has he been compensated?
We don't discuss individual matters for individual whistleblowers in particular, so all I can say is that we have recognised that we didn't treat the whistleblowing that occurred at the time as we should have, and that would not occur now.
Okay.
Microphone 1.
Chairman, I would like to introduce Eunice Turner, who is a shareholder.
Ms Livingstone, board members, it came up today that they thought this shabby work had been going on for a couple of years. In my opinion, financial institutions haven't been doing their work to their best ability for about 20 years. And why do, when people are suffering hardship, financial institutions put the interest rates to unbelievable levels that they have to go bankrupt? Why? Now, you said you're going to make everything great. I want investors to be able to invest, domestic investors to act with impunity in their investment, also foreign investors, that every nation in the world will want to bank with Australian banks, our 4 big banks. I also have something more to say. Why have financial institutions been allowed to get away with this for so long?
Well, Thank you, Ms Turner. I'll take your comments, and I think the responses that have been addressed at this meeting would indicate that we would agree with you in terms of the importance of very strong financial institutions, but also ones that are deserving of trust and confidence, and we acknowledge that Commonwealth Bank and the sector more broadly has not been so deserving in recent times, and it's our intention that we restore the perception of our trustworthiness and therefore the trust that you can have in us. Microphone 3. Well, I think actually at the moment interest rates are in terms of historical levels, very low. But if there are aspects of hardship, then we do offer financial support and special assistance to customers who are experiencing financial difficulties. Microphone 3.
Chairman, I would like to introduce Brian Tennant, who is a shareholder. Chairman, Brian is sitting approximately halfway up the auditorium on your far left.
My far left. Can we... Right.
Okay. Yeah. Primarily, I want to congratulate Matt for his letter of the 27th of September, and it's a very fine letter. And what I like about his letter, he outlines in the last paragraph that for a better Commonwealth Bank will be better, but he goes on to say that it will never end. But the important thing is that my prime concern was to congratulate Matt for his fine letter, and also to support the final dividend, which was my understanding was a bit of sacrifice by the board, and also what I do like about it is that Eastern Standard Time, within 1 hour of opening, I had my dividend in my bank account, and I was able to square my debts off and end up in the black. But anyway, the important thing is that the bank will have to learn more responsibility. You know, for example, there was an unemployed person. He wanted a new car. Mum and Dad had just paid their house off, and of course they put their house up, you know, as collateral, and of course they lost their house. Well, and now the Commonwealth Bank when they lend money, it'll be more responsible. In other words, the borrower will have to convince the bank that they're able to service that loan, otherwise they simply won't get the loan. And then, in other words, the bank will be legally right and morally right, whereas, you know, not only the Commonwealth but other banks, we're accepting those sort of deals. So, Matt, congratulations on your letter, and I thought myself,